I'm a 37-year-old man and my lovely wife, 36, and I have little to no problems with each other. However, upon noticing little things that are mounting up to a rather terrifying level, I'm not sure I can ignore this anymore. She's a great person. She's done so much for me this whole marriage and respects that I do not want to have sex after a rather traumatizing experience that I don't need to get into. She does little things that shows she listens and cares about me, and I do the same for her. I want to stay with her because we've been married for 10 years now and she is all I know, but lately I just don't know what's going on and why she's acting the way that she is. The first notable time was when we found an egg on the curb. We assumed it was from our neighbor, given that they have chickens and maybe an egg roll out or something. Without a second thought, my wife stomped on the egg. Now, I would have been fine had it been an infertile egg or a cooking egg without anything, but the entire fetus was seen and I threw up. She laughed, saying that it was funny and at least the neighbors don't have to worry about another chicken. I told myself that it was just an egg and she had no idea that there would be a fetus in it, but her reaction afterwards rattled me. I brushed it off because, like I said, I love her. Maybe that is stupid, but I do. I really love her. But the things continued, and my love for her is wavering. Some notable things I remember were stated below. We have a dog, we'll call him Butter. Butter is the most calm dog in the world, and housebroken and well trained. However, one time, he was very sick and irritated and he went number 2 on the carpet. My wife screamed at Butter. Screamed. I told her to stop because the damage was done already and Butter is a dog who is sick. I cleaned the carpet and she never blew up at Butter again, but it rubbed me the wrong way how mean she was to him. I understand that she was frustrated, but Butter started crying and trying to give her paw, and she kept screaming at him. My mom passed in 2020. Natural causes. But I was very close with her and it took many years to accept it. I keep her favorite bracelet on a table with family photos of her and me. One day, it was missing and I had a panic attack. The bracelet was made by my mom's grandfather, and she wore it every day. It was a part of her. But when I told my wife, she told me that she sold it. I sobbed. I wasn't mad at her, just devastated. But soon after, the bracelet was back on the table and I asked her about that. She started laughing and saying that you should have seen your face. When we were gardening, I noticed I dropped my keys. She was grouchy since it was hot and she was planting flowers since the morning. When she found them, she threw them at my face and it cut my nose. She felt horrible, but that reaction threw me off. One time after work on Halloween, I was feeling particularly depressed for no reason. I don't blame her for this, but she played a prank on me and jump scared me, something we do every Halloween. I started crying and having a breakdown because it was kind of the last straw for me after my shift. She laughed, and kept laughing, then went back to the living room and watched TV. One time on Facebook, we found out that a classmate had been in a car accident. I told her, and she shrugged, saying that she didn't really know her so it doesn't matter. It's okay for her to not care about the victim, but the poor girl was heavily injured, and my memories of her from school were pleasant and she genuinely didn't deserve what happened. My wife and I love horror. We are horror fans. But I cannot stand violence against animals. It disturbs me. So, when we put on When Evil Lurks, as you can imagine, I threw up. The kicker is that she has seen it but wanted to watch it with me sink. She loves it so much. I'm happy she loves it. But I would have appreciated a warning, which I vocalized. She shrugged it off and that was that. That's a few, but the worst of it happened just yesterday. I tried my hardest to not say anything, but it might be my last straw. I was cleaning up our room and my wife was at work, and I found a journal buried underneath the mattress as I was swapping sheets. For some reason, I opened it and realized quickly that it was my wife's diary. I would have put it back if I didn't see the words on the page. I was horrified. She wrote that when she was driving, there was a line of geese crossing the street. Annoying, yes, but the thing you're supposed to do is wait. My wife wrote that geese are a useless species so it shouldn't matter if a few get run over. Yes, she just ran over 2 geese on the road. Again, I was horrified. I know what people will say, so I'm going to answer a few questions. I love her. I recognize that sometimes, her behavior is unacceptable and concerning. I recognize the concern, which is why I'm here in the first place. But you all have to realize that for the past 16 years now, she's been my world. We dated for 6 years before getting married, and it's been 10 years since our wedding. In those 16 years, I've witnessed her go through horrific things and she's witnessed the same. It's hard to sum up those 16 years, but it's difficult and I'm already saying too much. I noticed the change over the past 3 or so years. Even then, in the moment, I didn't see it as an issue until reading that little journal entry. I can't just leave her, but I can't act the same around her after finding that out. I realize that I need to confront her about what I saw, but truthfully I am afraid. I never knew it was something she was capable of until I read it and started putting the pieces together. Whatever is going on, I don't know what to do with it. She has a therapist and so do I. She seems genuine. But I don't know what to do, knowing that she willingly killed an animal without any remorse. Honestly, I just don't want to leave her. I met her young, and all I know is her. She's seen me through the most vulnerable parts of my life and vice versa. Her family and my family are basically intertwined. We all love each other. She's basically been there longer than when she hasn't. If I have to leave her, I think that will be it for me. That'll be all I have. I'm 37, which isn't old but also not desirable either. I don't even know why she had a crush on me because I personally don't think I'm desirable. I don't even know if this post will make sense. I don't know if anyone will take the time out of their day to read my struggles. My therapist is on vacation so I can't tell her yet. I need somebody to talk to, because everybody that I'm telling brushes it off since she is a very sweet person to them. I just want to fix this. Update 1. I've had a long month, and there's a lot to say but I honestly cannot stress enough how much your support and words, harsh or not, mean to me. I'll say what has been on my mind lately, but if anybody just came for this, here it is. I'm leaving my ex-wife, Anna, but we are still living together as I pack my things. I'm not really scared of her anymore, so that's her name. I sat down and had a conversation with her. Everything I wrote down and posted here was copy and pasted from Google Docs. I left some details out since they were identifiable for both Anna and I. I showed it to her and she blew up at me. I understand why she was angry. I did share information about our marriage and life on the internet. Her emotions were reasonable. But I started to get very irritable. She listened to the word vomit that just spewed out. She didn't interrupt me or yell at me because I think she realized in that moment how badly it was all affecting me. I begged her to just hear me out and surprisingly she did. She admitted to me that she also recognized that she was changing and told her therapist about it. Do I believe her? Not really. She said that she's been scaring herself and that she's been having anger issues flaring up that she's noticed, and as some of you predicted, she didn't want to give sex up so she cheated on me with some guy she met at her job. Honestly, by the time she explained herself, I didn't care. Because I don't. With everything that has happened, this was the least shocking. I asked Anna, genuinely, if she loved the man she met and she said yes, which hurt but also didn't seem like a surprise to me. I told Anna that if she didn't love me, I can divorce her and we can figure out the separation and home situation. She agreed far too quickly, but I was so emotionally exhausted and done with her shit that it didn't register how little she valued the marriage to just toss it out like it was nothing. I just told her that for the next guy, she needs to get help. She agreed that she would check herself into the hospital. Some of you suggested a tumor but that wasn't the case. Her explanation was that the other man got her into drugs. That's all I will say on that matter because it's all she told me. At this point, I don't even care what the reason was because the impact was the same. Honestly, I'll forever kick myself down for not recognizing any warning signs sooner. It should have never gotten to the point that it did, and while it may not be my fault, I'm haunted every day by the thought that I could have been smarter and stopped her from doing everything that she did. When I say that she wasn't always like this, I mean it. She didn't give a specific date from when her affair started, so I can't pinpoint it to an exact event that happened. I miss the woman she used to be, the lovely girl I've known for almost 2 decades. I know this was something that had to be done, but no matter how many times I tell myself that, it doesn't make me feel any better. For those wanting to know, Butter is safe. He's a good boy and he's staying with my sister while I pack up to leave. My wife never physically hurt him, but she has yelled at him a few times. It hurts not having him here all the time since my sister's house is 30 minutes away. But he's safe and I actually see him tonight. I also informed my family about this situation. I didn't want to, but I knew it was necessary. They understand and apologized for their brushing off of the situation. But to be fair, I downplayed it so that could also be why they didn't see it as an issue. Her family knows we are splitting as well. As for me, I don't really have friends that are available that often, so I've spent most of my time alone in the house and thinking to myself. It was our house at one point. I remember when we first bought it and how excited she was. My best friend and I are going to eat out together, so that's something to look forward to. And she still admitted. I don't hear from her because they take your phone away at the hospital. I hope she can recover, but after everything that my therapist, family, best friend, and you guys have said, I can't bring myself to stay with her. Breaking it off felt like ripping my own arm off. I was devastated and still am. She seemed distraught as well, but I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't think she doesn't care about me. I think there's a part of her that still cares. But maybe I'm wishfully thinking. Even through everything I can't be mad at her. But I know loving her isn't good for me. Is it wrong to forgive her? To see everything from her side? It hurts. It really does. I don't know anything but her. It feels like my life is over even though it isn't. I don't want to date again, but I just want to connect with other people. It didn't click how isolated I was until I left, and I realize now that she is at fault for my lack of communication with anybody. If I had to conclude this jumbled mess of an update, it'd be this. I'm going to be fine. It's only been like 2 weeks, boo. It's been the longest 2 weeks of my life. I realize that there are more people around that support and care about me. It honestly was really hard to accept that Anna was a disturbed individual who didn't love me. Sometimes, I still convince myself that she does. But everybody around me states that she doesn't. And I'm coming to terms with this. It's progress. I've spent more than 16 years with this woman tormenting me and I have a warped perception of reality. It truly is not easy to experience any of this, and honestly sometimes I want to come back to her. But I know that maybe I can find the woman, or man, for me that will love me the way I need to. I'm working it out in therapy, and honestly I'm still frightened of Anna. But I am thankful that she was the catalyst to a new chapter of my life. I learned a lot from this, mostly what love is and isn't. Thanks. You guys have good perspectives on things. I can't say that Reddit is what fixed my problems, but I can say that leaving was a result of the extra push you guys provided. I wish Anna the best, wherever the future takes her. While I'm sad that the future will not have me in it, I think this was the best for both of us, since she didn't seem to love me and I now fear her. Now on to second story. Found out my fiancée expected a $20,000 Rolex for her brother's wedding. Now I'm reconsidering our relationship and our future. I, 31 male, have a successful business in NYC, and I'm engaged to my fiancée, 26F. We've been together for a few years, and we're planning to get married in June 2025. I'm doing pretty well financially, and I recently bought a house where she'll move in after the wedding. I'm really close with my younger brother, 30M, and we've been best friends for as long as I can remember. He got married in April, and as a wedding gift, I surprised him with a Rolex he'd been eyeing for a while. He didn't expect it and was over the moon about it, which made me feel great because I love him to death. Now here's where things get sticky. My fiancé's older brother got married 2 weeks ago, and leading up to his wedding, she kept making comments about how much her brother loves Rolexes. She'd mention it here and there, but I didn't really pay much attention. For her brother's wedding, I decided to gift him a $2,000 prepaid credit card as a honeymoon gift. I thought it was a generous gesture, and he seemed grateful. But after the wedding, my fiancée started acting strange. Today, she finally told me she was disappointed in me. Apparently, she'd convinced herself that I was going to get her brother a Rolex, just like I did for mine. She even hinted to her brother and some of her friends that I was going to buy him a fancy gift, like a Rolex. Now she's saying that I was cheap because I only gave her brother a $2,000 gift, and how it doesn't compare to the $20,000 I spent on my brother's watch. I'm honestly shocked and upset. Why would she think I'd spend the kind of money on her brother just because I did it for mine? I love her brother, but there's no comparison between him and my own brother, who's my best friend. I feel like she's completely overlooking the fact that I gave her brother a gift that most people would consider very generous. Now I'm starting to have serious second thoughts about this relationship. I never imagined she'd put this kind of pressure on me or act like I owe her family the same kind of money I spend on my own. I'm thinking of confronting her, but I'm wondering if I'm missing something here. Ida for not buying her brother a Rolex and being upset about her reaction? She's a gold digger. If your fiancé wanted her brother to have a Rolex, she should have bought it for him. If this relationship continues, you need a prenup, preferably one that protects your premarital assets, future income, retirement accounts, and limits any post-divorce support. Her reaction when you tell your fiancé that you want a prenup and to have separate finances will tell you everything you need to know. Update 1. First, a lot of you criticized me for giving my brother a Rolex as a wedding gift, saying a wedding gift should be for the couple. To clarify, I did give my Sil a separate gift, a gold jewelry set from her favorite brand. Second, many of you said some harsh things about my fiancé, questioning whether she even has a job. She's currently completing her PhD, with offers from both Meta and Google. I have no doubt she'll be earning a great salary once she finishes. As for our age difference, she's 26 and I just turned 32, so it's only a 5-year gap. It's disappointing that some of you assume she was with me just for money. Also, for those who asked, she gave my brother a gift worth around $1,000. Now, for the actual update. I asked her to meet me for dinner, and after we went to a nice restaurant, we headed back to my place. I brought up the tension that's been building in our relationship over the last few weeks, and she immediately blamed me, claiming I embarrassed and insulted her brother with the gift I gave him. At that point, I nearly lost it. I reminded her of everything I've done for her over the years, including letting her live rent-free in my old apartment, which I could easily rent out for $3,500 plus per month. I was too drained to argue any further, so I brought up the topic of a prenup. I told her it was in both of our best interests to sign one before getting married. Her reaction was intense. She went wide-eyed, started yelling, and accused me of believing she was only with me for my money. She was furious that I would even consider divorce. After arguing for over an hour, I finally said I needed more time to think about our relationship. She asked if I was breaking up with her, and I said yes. She went quiet for a few minutes before asking what I wanted her to do with the engagement ring. I told her she could keep it. Then she asked about the apartment. I told her she could stay until the end of October, but after that, she'd need to find a new place. She seemed shocked by my answer, though I'm not sure what she was expecting. In short, we've ended our relationship. She tried calling me yesterday, but I was in a meeting and didn't pick up. She later texted asking if we could meet on Saturday, and while I agreed, I've already made up my mind. I'm not going back to her. Her dad reached out, and while we've always gotten along, he was understanding and wished me the best. On the other hand, my mom isn't happy with me, mostly because she got close to her, and I didn't share the real reason behind the breakup. It sucks, especially after all the time and energy I invested in the relationship, but honestly, I'm glad it happened now rather than a few years down the line. Going forward, I'm not rushing into another serious relationship unless I find the right person. Time to enjoy being single. But if she's going to react like that, you're better off. Update 2. Many of you were curious about my and my ex-fiancé's backgrounds. I'm of South Asian, Pakistani, descent, and she's half Swiss and half German. Some of you even questioned if she lied to me about doing a PhD. I can assure you that she is actually pursuing a PhD and should be finishing in a couple of semesters. Also, when we first started dating, she didn't know much about my financial situation, so I don't think she started dating me because of my money. Of course, it probably influenced things once she found out, but I don't think it was her initial motivation. Now, for the update. Like I mentioned in my previous post, she wanted to meet in person, and I agreed. However, I later changed my mind and suggested that we talk over the phone instead. We ended up having a detailed conversation the other day. No, she didn't say she was pregnant. Instead, she informed me that she would be moving out of my apartment by October 15th. She also offered to return the engagement ring, but I told her to keep it. During our conversation, she mentioned that she misses me and regrets how she handled things. She admitted that she would have approached the situation with a different, more mature attitude if I had brought up the prenup now. In short, she was very apologetic. I told her that whatever happened, happened for the best, and I wished her well. She wished me the best too, and we said our goodbyes. Overall, it was a mature conversation, and I feel like she understands that she was in the wrong. She asked if we could stay friends, and I said sure, but honestly, I don't think we'll have much contact moving forward, especially after she moves out. Many of you also suggested that I tell my mom the real reason for ending the engagement. My mom has been out of the country, so I haven't had much chance to talk to her, but today I finally had an opportunity to explain everything in detail. My mom was shocked, to say the least. She told me that my ex has been in contact with her almost every day since the breakup, saying how she was looking forward to becoming her daughter-in-law, how she had already started planning the wedding, and how much she was going to miss her. My fiancé was always close to my mom and often told me how much she loved her, so I'm not sure of the real motivation behind these calls, whether it's genuine or if there's a hidden agenda. Regardless, my mom now understands why I made the decision I did, and she fully supports me.